If you only had 10 days in Morocco, these are the 4 cities you don't want to miss: Marrakesh, Fes, Chefchaouen, and Casablanca. But the magic isn't only in the cities, it's in the Hammam rituals. Berber villages tucked into the Atlas, nights under desert stars, and waterfalls hidden in the Rif Mountains. Stay with me for a cinematic journey where food, culture, and landscapes collide. Marrakesh doesn't ease you in. It sweeps you off your feet. The moment you step into Jemaa el-Fnaa, the legendary square at the city's heart, the senses are overwhelmed. The air is filled with the hum of chatter, the hypnotic sound of flutes played by snake charmers, and the sizzling of food stalls preparing for the night rush. By day, you'll find fresh squeezed orange juice vendors lined up in bright rows, offering glasses for just a few dirhams. But wait until nightfall. The square transforms into the world's largest open-air restaurant. Smoke rises from grills loaded with skewers of lamb. Chefs ladle bowls of spicy snail soup to curious travelers, and the scent of saffron, cumin, and cinnamon swirls together in the evening air. Step away from the chaos and history whispers in every corner. The Bahia Palace greets you with its mosaic courtyards and intricate ceilings, each tile telling a story of Moroccan artistry. Just nearby, the Saadian Tombs remind you that Marrakesh isn't just alive with energy. It's layered with centuries of legacy, where marble and cedar wood preserve the memory of sultans long gone. By the end of your first day, you'll realize Marrakesh is not just a city, it's a stage, and you've just taken your seat. Day 2 in Marrakesh begins in a calmer rhythm. Step into the Majorelle Garden, a masterpiece of design once restored by Yves Saint Laurent. The cobalt blue walls gleam under the morning sun, framed by tall bamboo groves, exotic cacti, and water lilies floating in serene pools. It feels like a dream oasis carved right into the city's chaos. But Marrakesh has another side waiting just beyond its walls. Head to the Palmeraie, a vast palm grove stretching to the horizon. Here, you can ride a camel in traditional Berber dress, swaying slowly as the desert wind brushes your face. Or, if you crave adrenaline, rev up a quad bike and roar across the sandy terrain, kicking up clouds of dust as mountains rise faintly in the distance. When evening falls, return to the Medina's food stalls for missaman, flaky Moroccan pancakes, grilled kebabs, and hot mint tea poured from high. A perfect close to a day of contrasts. On your 3rd day in Marrakesh, slow the pace and step into one of Morocco's oldest traditions, the Hammam. Locals visit weekly, not just to cleanse the body, but to refresh the soul. You'll be scrubbed with black olive soap, rinsed in clouds of steam, and massaged until every muscle unwinds. Whether in a simple neighborhood hammam or a luxurious spa, the ritual leaves you renewed. Emerge, and the Medina pulls you back into its labyrinth of souks. Wander through alleys where piles of saffron and paprika create rivers of color, where artisans hammer brass into glowing lanterns and leather slippers dangle in neat rows above your head. Bargain with a smile. It's expected here, and let curiosity guide your steps. Taste sticky dates stuffed with almonds, or sip a glass of fresh pomegranate juice as you explore. By night, indulge in lamb mechoui, roasted for hours underground until it melts in your mouth. Marrakesh ends as it began, intense, colorful, unforgettable. Day 4 takes you out of Marrakesh and into the Atlas Mountains. The journey winds up steep passes where Berber villages cling to hillsides, their mud brick homes blending into the earth. Pause at a roadside cafe where a Berber family pours mint tea into tiny glasses, serving it with homemade bread dipped in rich argan oil. It's hospitality born of tradition, passed down through generations. As you descend, a fortress rises on the horizon, Ait Ben Haddou. Its clay kasbahs glow under the sun, standing as they have for centuries. Once a stop for desert caravans, now a backdrop for films like Gladiator and Game of Thrones. By evening, asphalt gives way to sand. Mount a camel and sway gently into the dunes of Chebbi as the sky burns orange with sunset. When darkness falls, sit by a fire under a billion stars and drift to sleep in Berber tents beneath the vast Sahara sky. Wake before dawn, climb a dune, and watch the desert transform. As the sun peaks above the horizon, the Sahara glows gold, and the shadows of camels stretch across the sand like brush strokes on a vast canvas. It's a moment that stays with you long after you've left the desert behind. Then begins a long but unforgettable road north. The route cuts through the Ziz Valley, where palm groves line a ribbon of green against the barren earth. Pass through Midelt, a mountain town where crisp air replaces desert heat, and continue into cedar forests alive with Barbary macaques swinging through the trees. Every turn feels like Morocco revealing a new face. By evening, you'll descend into Fes. Lanterns flicker in narrow alleys, spices scent the air, and the echo of distant prayers drifts through the city. After a day of landscapes in motion, Fes welcomes you into its ancient heart. Fes is a maze that never ends. Its Medina, Fes el Bali, is one of the world's largest car-free zones, where donkeys carry goods through narrow alleys and markets spill over with energy. Every step feels like time travel. Mosques centuries old, madrasas where scholars once studied, and walls that whisper the stories of empires. Above it all, the Chouara Tanneries spread out like an artist's palette, vats of dye in saffron, indigo, and crimson. Workers stomp hides in ancient pits, a craft unchanged for 1,000 years. Watching from above, you see both the labor and beauty that give Fes its soul. Food here tells its own story. A bowl of bissara, hearty and humble, or pastilla, where spiced chicken is wrapped in layers of pastry dusted with sugar and cinnamon. A dish that blends sweet with savory, much like Fes itself. This city doesn't just show you history, it immerses you in it. From the earth tones of Fes, travel north to a dream in blue. Chefchaouen, known as the Blue Pearl, is painted from top to bottom in shades of sky, sea, and twilight. Walking its alleys feels like wandering through a watercolor painting. Some say the blue keeps away mosquitoes, others say it reflects the heavens. But for visitors, it's simply enchanting. As you wander, every turn reveals another postcard-perfect scene. Arched doorways painted turquoise, pots of red flowers against cobalt walls, and cats lounging lazily on sunlit steps. Shops sell woven blankets and hand-dyed scarves, their colors popping against the blue backdrop. At sunset, hike up to the Spanish mosque perched on the hillside. As the sun dips, the whole town glows indigo, a breathtaking view framed by the Rif Mountains. Chefchaouen slows life down, inviting you to savor its quiet charm and the magic of its endless blues. Day 8 takes you beyond Chefchaouen's painted walls into the Rif Mountains. A short drive brings you to Akour, where a trail winds through lush valleys, rivers, and rocky cliffs. The hike itself feels alive. The sound of rushing water, birds darting through trees, and the smell of pine filling the air. After an hour's walk, you reach the Cascades, Akour's waterfalls, tumbling into cool emerald pools. Locals picnic here, dipping bread into olive oil while children splash in the shallow streams. It's a reminder of Morocco's quieter, greener side, far removed from the desert and the cities. By afternoon, return to Chefchaouen and let yourself simply wander. Sit at a rooftop cafe, sip mint tea sweetened with honey, and watch the stars begin to sprinkle across the night sky. In Chefchaouen, even time feels painted blue, slow, serene, and unforgettable. Your final stop brings you to Casablanca, Morocco's modern face by the Atlantic. The city hums with a global rhythm, business towers, oceanfront boulevards, and a coastal breeze that feels like freedom. But the crown jewel is the Hassan II Mosque, the largest in Africa, its minaret rising 210 meters into the sky. Built on the sea, waves crash against its foundations, as if the ocean itself bows in reverence. Inside, intricate ceilings and vast prayer halls remind you of Morocco's unmatched artistry. Step outside, and Casablanca shows its cosmopolitan side. Wander the Haddou quarter, where French colonial architecture blends with Moroccan souks. Here, vendors sell olives in barrels, almonds by the scoop, and spices that perfume the streets. By evening, follow locals to Ain Diab Beach. Join families grilling sardines, surfers chasing waves, and couples strolling La Corniche. Casablanca is Morocco's farewell, a reminder that this land embraces tradition and modernity at once. On your last day, let Casablanca ease you into goodbye. Morning calls for a relaxed stroll through the central market, where stalls overflow with fish just caught from the Atlantic, pyramids of fresh fruit, and spices so fragrant you'll want to take them home. It's a market alive with energy, yet calmer than Marrakesh's frenzy. Later, slow down at La Corniche. Sit at a seaside cafe, sip a coffee, and watch waves roll endlessly toward the shore. For those craving more exploration, venture south to Tamaris, a quieter stretch of sand where time drifts with the tide. As the day closes, find a spot on the promenade for one final sunset. The Atlantic swallows the sun in a blaze of orange and pink, a poetic farewell to 10 days of adventure. Morocco doesn't just leave you with memories. It leaves you changed, carrying a piece of its soul. In just 10 days, you'll live 4 cities and 1,000 worlds. Marrakesh's chaos and calm, Fes's ancient soul, Chefchaouen's blue dream, and Casablanca's ocean breeze. Along the way, Hammam rituals, Berber villages, secret waterfalls, and nights under desert stars. Morocco isn't just a trip, it's a transformation.